Hey, what's going on, guys? Geo from Casa Kota here to talk to you today about branding. Um, Real quick, I just want to say that I know in the last video I looked like completely defeated, and I definitely felt defeated while I was recording it, but funnily enough, I actually got a client shortly after that video. So really, what you got to do is just stay consistent, keep showing up every day, and even though you'll have some rough days, like I do jujitsu, and the other day I tapped out three different people, four different times, okay? And then the following like 2 days, I got tapped like 10 times, okay? And didn't tap anyone. Now I've only started, but I've also only started my business. So it's kind of a good reflection of what you can expect, And that's why I'm actually enjoying jujitsu. It's because I just show up, I'm doing my business every day of the week, and I'm having the same kind of progress with jujitsu. But it's just a constant reminder. Like, you just have to show up. Consistency will get you far. Um, and so what I want to talk about today is really just branding. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because branding is what can essentially establish an identity that can take you very far. Um, the reason being is that, when you have a brand, people will associate it with a certain sort of emotion or a certain sort of thing that you do or thing that you offer, right? And there's two ways to think about a brand, especially when you're a service-based business, right? So if you're doing web design, the branding that you do could essentially be how you present yourself, or it could be your audience, right? So there's two ways to think about this. When you are, if you're like me and you're a YouTuber, right? Like, I might have a particular following that just does web design, right? And now that's my brand. I am associated with web design because that's who I speak to. That's the topics that I speak about. And then when you're a service-based industry or service-based business, who you serve is essentially your brand, right? Like, say you are serving restaurants most of the time, then you are your goal should be to be a premier restaurant web design agency, right? And that is something that will definitely take you far, especially within that particular niche, right? Like, for example, there are skateboarding companies that are entirely focused on just one part of a skateboard, right? Like, you have independent trucks, okay? Independent trucks also sell, like t-shirts, clothing, and other parts of the skateboard, but they are by and far known for their trucks, right? So if you're a digital agency, I would say that you should have a brand focused on what it is that you primarily do. So if that's web design, you should absolutely build your brand around web design. And then you can always upsell the other services as well that you offer, right? And when you do this, right, people will know who you are. For one, just based on if you like hone down on that one service that you do, people are going to be aware that, oh, this guy's like, these are the guys for web design, right? Like, me being a digital agency, even though I'm mainly doing web design, I'm surrounded by bigger fish, okay? I see people around me that are, they're like, for example, there's one company by me that they have 150 clients. So that they're doing extremely well. I've seen their offices, ridiculous, okay? So when you look at that, right, they have a brand built on who they are. Their story is down pat, the visuals go along with it, and they have presented themselves as like one particular core offering that it is that they do. And then they also, they sell the other services, right? So here's the thing about brand building that kind of sucks, but again, it's what will enforce what you do, right? So brand building takes a long time, okay? That company that I mentioned, they've been in business for around, I think, 8 or 9 years, right? Now, if I told, like, let's say you're starting out your business and I told you, yeah, in 8 or 9 years, you'll have like a solid brand that's going to bring you customers. It's like, nah, like, I don't want to wait 8 to 9 years to start getting business. And it's like, I wouldn't blame you, right? But here's the thing. It doesn't take 8 or 9 years to establish a solid brand, okay? You can do it quicker than that. Now, it's still going to take a long time. I would say minimum, 2-3 years, right? But if you are in constant pursuit of achieving that vision of what a good brand represents, down from how you actually, I don't know, like, maybe structure your emails when you're talking to clients, down to how you actually talk to the clients, down to how you're service fulfillment is and what sort of like kind of quirks separate you from the competition, it's going to do so well. You are going to be synonymous with just efficiency and the ability to just do stuff right, okay? So you need to plan that out, okay? So one of the ways to do that is to really just plan it out from the start, like for example, I'm about 2 to 3 months in, and even though I'm kind of taking on whoever I can take on, right? At the end of the day, like I still have a goal and vision in mind in terms of what I'm trying to do. And you should as well. Because if you can stick to that goal, if you can maintain it, eventually you're going to get the type of clients that you want. You're going to be able to fulfill the service in the way that you wish to fulfill it, which, let's be real. Like if you can do it well, even if you don't have like a branded sort of approach, if you just do good service fulfillment, you'll at least get some clients. But if you want to go that next step, right? You want to go that extra step, take it as far as you can. You need a branded approach. You need to just be that guy, that face, that person, that company that does things right. They do it their way, and that way works, okay? And that extends to how you present yourself, but it also extends to what you do with regards to your service fulfillment. And those are things that you need to iterate with over time. So as you start iterating over your process and trying to optimize it, maybe make it faster, maybe do more service offerings, those things are essentially going to propel you much farther than if you didn't plan that stuff out. Or if, whatever you do is enough to get you this much business and you're fine with that. Like if you really want to go above and beyond, you have to be above and beyond, okay? So that's everything from your vision towards how you work. So the real point of this video, just to kind of surmise it, is, have a vision, strive for that vision, and keep reiterating in a way that it's still in line with what your original intent was. So for example, my original intent is to, give or deliver really good websites that always have a modern and professional look and play into the client's overall marketing strategy and set the tone for whomever visits that website. There's a bunch of different ways to do that, but you got to develop your own way and you have to optimize, like I've had clients, but I need to continue optimizing as you should. And, it's a process, but once you figure it out, I think if you get a brand, you will succeed. And I've done it. I've had an ecom store. I've built a brand, and trust me, once you actually create that identity, people will flock to what it is that you're selling or what you're doing. So I hope this was helpful.